What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Slightly Biased Podcast. I am your host, Connolly, joined by my co-host, Brett. It is September 19th, Thursday. Week 3 of the NFL season kicks off tonight in a big week for a bunch of teams. There are 9 teams currently that are 2-0. Since the merger in 1970, 62% of teams that start 2-0 make the playoffs, and there are also 9 teams that are 0-2. Only 10% of those teams make the playoffs, and going a little bit further than that, 75% of teams that start 3-0 make the postseason, and only 2% of teams that start 0-3 make the playoffs. So it's a big week for a bunch of these teams. As I mentioned earlier, 9 teams that are 2-0, 9 that are 0-2. So, Brett, we're going to start off asking, of these 0-2 teams, which one are you looking at thinking maybe they have a bounce-back week, maybe they get something going and make a run for the postseason?
So looking at all these 0-2 teams and who they're playing this week, I got to say, I think I got to go with the Jags. Going with the upset at home. Hopefully in that crippled AFC South division, they can pull themselves together.
For sure.
Now, I'm not very confident in that. I almost want to go Pittsburgh, but, no Big Ben. You don't really know how Mason Rudolph is going to look, but long term, I might go Pittsburgh low key. So,
yeah, I mean, none of these 0-2 teams are really that appealing, honestly.
No.
Like last year, the Seahawks made it, and I mean, they were obviously a better team than their 0-2 record indicated. But at the same time, the Texans started 0-2 last year, it looked abysmal, and then rattled off like a 9-game win streak. So there could be one of these teams that look, going like a surprising run. But just looking at them, Panthers, Cam Newton's hurt and looks like garbage anyway.
Yep.
Broncos offensively are just atrocious. The Jets are onto their third-string quarterback. Yeah, that is a tough division.
And they got a tough schedule.
Redskins, tough, just like you said, tough schedule for the Redskins too. And I mean, I don't know if they have the offensive firepower really.
We know the top 2 in that division.
Yeah, 100%. And the Jags probably, I would say, looking at these teams, have the best chance. I mean, they still have a really good defense, and they've been in their games. I mean, they played the Chiefs somewhat close for a little bit. Then Nick Foles gets hurt. You don't really have a chance. Yeah,
because he had that bomb, and we were all excited. Like,
for sure.
Jags look good. And then
I mean, they were trading punches with them for a while there, but that Chiefs offense is just.
And I don't hate Minshew. I mean, he's.
I don't hate him either. No, yeah. I mean, he's good enough to rattle off a few wins. I think for sure.
Great locker room guy. We figured that out.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even if they do end up trading Jalen Ramsey, it's still a good defense, and they're in a horrible division. So I'd have to pick them if I had to pick anyone. But I'm like you said, I'm not confident about it. Giants, no chance. Bengals look awful. Steelers, I'll have to see how Mason Rudolph looks.
Yeah.
Dolphins, of course not.
Now, how do you feel about that Minka trade, though? Do you think that's pretty impactful, or?
For the Steelers?
Yeah, for the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, they need a boost defensively, and I see a lot of people talking about how they're not really in a position this year to make a trade like that. I think it's more of a future move, really, because dude's in the second year of his NFL career. It's not like they're trading for a guy on a 1-year rental or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're getting a super versatile secondary player too. You can play safety, corner, whatever you need him to play.
Yeah, and I look at that division and I see Cleveland second, and I see Pittsburgh at 0-2, and I could very easily see Pittsburgh being better than them.
Yeah, I mean it all really depends on Mason Rudolph. Like if he comes out and balls out, like
they
could go on a run 100%.
Yeah.
And then look at these 2-0 teams. What teams you think might be falling off, might miss the playoffs, are nowhere near as good as the record indicates?
So for me, I do think San Fran's looked really good. I like their team. I like their coach. I like what they're doing. But I think that division is going to be tough to get out of once Seattle gets going. I think Arizona could get going. I don't think I could see San Fran making the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at these 2-0 teams. They're all solid teams.
Yeah, but 2 weeks into the season, you know what I'm saying?
The Dolphins were 3-0 last year.
We are Cowboy fans, by the way, and starting out 2-0, and Dak looking as good as he has, we're getting a lot of pushback, playing the Giants and Redskins. So we'll see what we do against the Saints and the Packers week 4 and week 5.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at these 2-0 teams, if I had to pick one to not make playoffs, I'd probably say the Bills.
I actually really like the Bills.
I like the Bills too,
And
but that's what I'm saying. If I had to pick
it,
one, I could see all these teams making the postseason.
it's just in a battered AFC. I just see a lot of beaten up teams, and I like what the Bills are doing. They're young. They got a good defense. Josh Allen is a baller. He likes to win.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like the Bills.
I'm kind of looking at they play the Patriots twice. To be
Yeah.
completely honest, I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like. Let me look right now.
But that's divisional. Maybe catch New England slipping at home one game of the year. Maybe
Yeah.
go 1-1.
And I mean, like you said, the Cowboys they played the Jets week 1, and we're very lucky to win that game.
Yeah, they looked rough out the gate for sure.
Right. And then Giants. I mean, are the Giants going to win a game?
We had to see how Daniel Jones looks. I mean, you gotta think it's an upgrade from Eli. I mean, it's something to look forward to for them, and we'll see how he does this week.
Right.
Look
at their schedule.
So
Their schedule is really not that crazy, so I definitely could see the Bills making the playoffs. 49ers, yeah, I personally think that they look really good. Like, I'm really shocked at how good the 49ers look, but they are in a really tough
big
division.
on them last year. I thought they were going to go nuts last year, and Jimmy G got hurt, and
right.
But yeah, well, I mean, they're a good team. I just think that division, when it gets further into the season, is going to be tough to get out of.
Yeah, you're 100% right. That division is pretty brutal. You got
Arizona's
the Rams. I mean,
good
there's
too.
three teams in that division are 2-0.
And once Arizona gets going, they're going to be a problem, I think, for years to come.
So we're going to get into these picks here, pick who we think is going to win these games and why, the scores and all that. We'll keep tallying Tuesday when we go over the games. We'll talk about our records. So let's start with the Thursday night game tonight. An absolute shit show of a game. So the NFL wasted no time in just putting these disastrous games on Thursday night. Last week it was the Bucs and the Panthers. Tonight it is the Titans and Jaguars. Why do they keep putting us these South Division matchups?
That game last year was rough. Or last week, I mean.
These AFC South, NFC South matchups are always awful.
Yeah.
It's these Atlantic Coast games early in the season. It's either raining and disgusting or it's 95 degrees and humid and all the players are cramping every other snap.
Yeah. Man, you got two quarterbacks that are very interesting tonight because I've never been big on Mariota, and I'm kind of becoming a Minshew fan. So I'm interested to see if the Jags can pull this out and turn their season around.
For sure. Who you picking though? No interested. Who you picking?
So if you look at the numbers and the team stats and everything going into this game, everything screams Tennessee is going to win. They're -2 on the spread. The over/under is the lowest of the week, I believe. It's 38.5.
And I got the under there.
And I think I would go under 2. Tennessee has no turnovers. They have 5 takeaways. They're the least penalized team in the league. I think they have a better coach. So everything is screaming Tennessee, but man, my heart is just telling me Jacksonville at home can turn their season around. So I think I'm gonna go Jags.
Wow, I got Titans 13-10. I mean, for basically all the reasons you just said.
Yeah.
This Titans team is weird. They're a team that could be 2-0. Honestly, they should have won that game last week against the Colts. I just look at. To me, this game is going to come down to which team is able to run the ball better because neither of these teams have like prolific pass offenses.
Right.
Who has the edge at quarterback? I really don't know. Like, is it fucked up to give Minshew the edge over Mariota one full game into his career?
That might be the truth, though.
It might be. Like, I'm lowest of the low on Mariota. He's one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league.
Fournette just has not been the same.
I'm not a big Fournette guy.
I've never been a Henry guy, but man,
but he looks good. He looks good, man. He averaged 6 yards a carry against the Colts last week, and they were winning that game, and they were kind of dominating the Colts in the third quarter, just feeding the ball to Henry. They went away from him for some dumbass reason, and they ended up losing the game.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee's got better receivers. I think if Tennessee can get 2 takeaways, they're probably for sure going to win. Right. I just want to believe that Jacksonville can have enough heart and pull out a game at home. So.
And I mean, I'm looking at a Jags defense that obviously it's good. It's a really solid defense, but they also give up 4.5 yards a carry to Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson. And I like Derrick Henry more than both of those guys. And obviously the Titans have a much better offensive line than whatever the fuck the Texans are putting out. on the field.
They got AJ. How do you say Bowie or Bowie?
Yeah.
He's questionable, but it says good chance of suiting up. So
All right, that's big for them.
yeah.
But then again, it's like, yeah, they've got good corners, but Titans really aren't throwing the ball like that.
Right, but if Jalen Ramsey can get a pick or mess around and get a pick six or something, that changes the tide. So we'll
Right.
see how it goes.
And I mean, this is also a Jags team that just for some reason has struggled to the Titans. Titans have won 6 of the last
Oh
7
man,
games,
they've been slaying them.
and the Jags have only won 2 of their last 14 games.
Yeah, it's been really rough.
So I think both of these teams really they're kind of close talent wise. The Jags are more talented than their 0-2 record indicates, I think, but there's enough dysfunction going on there.
Are we looking at Marone here? Is Marone the problem? Is that what we're getting to?
I mean, anytime you have a yelling match with your superstar cornerback on the sideline and then you don't speak to him for 3-4 days, yeah, I'm going to say that you're probably an issue.
Yeah.
So I'm going the Titans there. You got the Jags. I got the Titans.
Okay.
It's going to be a shit show of a game. I'm
Yeah.
not looking forward to watching
It
it.
probably won't be pretty.
I'm not looking forward to watching it. So let's move on to the Sunday noon games. We got the Bengals at 0-2 traveling to Buffalo to take on the 2-0 Bills. Who do you got in this one?
So the spread is 6. As far as the money line goes, I like Cincinnati plus 210. Over under is 44. These two teams are interesting because they have opposite offenses. Buffalo, really good rushing, 100 more on the ground per game. Cincinnati's about 100 more yards in the air per game.
Right.
The Bengals' leading rusher is Bernard with 13 carries for 27 yards.
Yeah, they have not been able to get Mixon going.
I'll say this is a shootout kind of game. Could be high scoring, but I like the Bills' defense. I'll definitely go with the Bills at home, and I think they'll cover too.
Yeah, I got the Bills 23-13.
Yeah.
I mean the Bengals, they have not looked good. They like the Bengals are interesting because they played the Seahawks really well in Week 1.
And Dalton always plays pretty decent.
No, I mean Dalton has looked good this year.
I've always thought he was solid.
Dalton really is not.
Games.
Dalton is nowhere near the issue for the Bengals right now. I mean, first and foremost, he threw the ball 51 times Week 1 and 42 times in Week 2. So they are relying on him very heavily.
Yeah.
And in the passing game, they got some pretty solid, even with AJ Green out.
Yeah. No,
John Ross has looked really good.
Boyd. I like Boyd. John Ross.
Tyler Boyd's looked good. And even Effort had a touchdown last week. Dude made out of glass, but Eifert, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I like Andy Dalton. He's looked good, but throwing the ball 93 times.
They're allowing 31 points a game in their first 2. 420 yards a game.
Right.
166 rush yards a game, and that's Josh Allen's probably gonna have some 20-yard runs in this game.
Oh yeah.
They have a rushing touchdown.
The Bills are a matchup nightmare for the Bengals, really. I mean, Bills one of the best running teams in the NFL. I am worried. Like I think their running prowess kind of goes down if Devin Singletary misses the game. I really like him. He's definitely a big change of pace. But even Frank Gore played well. 68 yards, 19 carries when he filled in last week. And Josh Allen has looked really good. You take away that first half against the Jets where he had 4 turnovers. He's looked good this season.
Yep, I thought he was my second favorite quarterback in that draft behind Baker. So I've always been a fan.
He's got a rocket arm. He reminds me of Cam Newton a lot.
Okay.
He can run the ball. He's got a missile for an arm. Has accuracy issues, but
the Bengals just have no defense, man. I mean, there's just nobody on that defense.
No. And also you look at their offense, like they're missing 4 starting offensive linemen, and they're averaging 1.8 yards per carry. Like,
no running game. Yeah.
And looking at their offense, if they could get Mixon going, that would be a pretty scary offense because Mixon's super talented.
Yep.
They've got the receiving weapons. Andy Dalton is capable enough.
Yeah, we'll go with Buffalo and pray for the Bengals.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're going to be doing. All right, on to our next game. Oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
Dolphins in Dallas taking on the Cowboys. Just give me your score prediction. How bad do the Dolphins get beat by?
So as far as my notes goes, this is probably my least notes of the week. Again, we are Cowboys fans. That's probably where we're going to be the most biased in this podcast. Over 47. I got the over on that. And I don't want to take the minus 22. That's a lot of points for me. But I do think it's going to be Dallas just dominating.
Yeah.
Dak necessarily doesn't even have to go off, but he just might. He just might again, just because we have to keep proving to these people that we are a passing attack team now.
Yeah.
No Michael Gallup, but I like this kid Devin Smith, man. I'm really becoming a fan.
Yeah, I mean, he's a
Love
burner.
Randall Cobb in the slot. I'm a big Witten guy. I'm loving him back. The defense should be okay. We're getting Quinn back. He might have a little extra motivation going against his former team to get a sack or something. So, what I really want from this game is for Dallas defense to get a takeaway or two.
Yeah.
Because New England gets 2 pick sixes in the matter of 10 minutes.
Right.
And I'm looking for – we had 2 debatably pick sixes dropped last week against Washington.
100%.
Jeff Heath running with his head down, can't catch.
Fucking hits his helmet. What are you
Xavier,
looking at, bro?
Xavier can't catch. So I'm looking for us to get a couple takeaways. But, yeah, I think this is going to be a dominant performance again.
Yeah.
And Cowboys will be rolling going into week 4 against New Orleans.
Right. What'd you say the line was? Minus?
It is 22. Now I'm going with Bovada lines. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean that might be a little high just because I think that the Cowboys probably use this game as just get Zeke on the ground, pound the ball, let's go home, no injuries. I think that's going to be a thing. But the Dolphins, man, let's take a look, a real deep dive in just how horrific this team is. They've allowed 102 points in their first 2 weeks, most ever in the NFL history for the first 2 weeks. They have a minus 92 point differential, second worst ever to start the season. Quarterbacks have a 155 pass rating against them, most ever, the highest ever in the first two games of the season. And this spread, the plus, by the time when I wrote this, maybe it changed, but this plus 21 spread is the biggest spread ever for the first 3 weeks of the season. And last week, their plus 18 spread against the Patriots was the highest ever in week 2. So and they just lost the best player on their team, Mika Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
So this team is just, Rashad Jones didn't practice. Like, there's a chance Kenyon Drake gets traded before the game.
Really?
I'm looking at this team. There is not a chance in hell they win a game.
No, there's just not. As much as people would love for the Cowboys to just lose this game, it's just not going to happen.
And I've seen a lot of Dolphins fans saying, "Oh, well, we play the Jets twice." Like, dude, the Jets are a better team by a landslide.
They're better.
We play the Giants once. Yeah, the Giants should steamroll you guys. Like,
yeah, the Giants are a decent enough team to stomp you guys.
I think the Cowboys win this one. The Cowboys fan in me is a little worried just because
we know our history.
Yeah, we know that we are more than capable of losing some game like this in some dumbass fashion and being the laughingstock of the league.
I just think this year feels different. We've talked about this before. We're really not playing games, and I think Dak, who is our captain, is not playing games at all, and he would not let that happen. So
I mean, looking at Dak, according to No Checkdowns, like I'll link this No Checkdown website in the description of this because it's a really, really dope website. He only made one inaccurate pass last Sunday. One. He is a 91% accurate pass rating. It's just the highest in the league so far. And, it's not like he's dinking and dacking like everyone likes to say. He's throwing 46% of his passes beyond the sticks.
Leading yards per attempt.
Yeah, I mean, his 46.8% of attempts beyond the sticks is higher than Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson. So he's throwing the ball.
Yep, he's definitely throwing the ball.
Zeke's going to feast this game. I guess my bold prediction, I think Pollard gets in the end zone twice.
Okay, I like that.
I think they're gonna go to him. I think Pollard, honestly, I know we're not really like a fantasy podcast, but Pollard would be an interesting start if you were like in a huge crutch or something.
Yeah,
and need some help because they tried to get him in the end zone last week. He had a touchdown callback for a penalty.
And that was a good run too. It was a good run.
And I just see them. Zeke looked really good last week, but there's no reason for them to run Zeke into the ground this Sunday. And if Cowboys get out to a big lead, I could see they being a Tony Pollard game.
Yeah, I think Zeke would take a seat if we get up by 3 scores.
Yeah, and just like you mentioned with the Cowboys defense, I think they need a morale boost here. Let them get some turnovers and start feeling good going into tougher parts.
Right? I mean, we got to get 2.
Because the defense has been disappointing. Like, there's no way around it.
Yeah,
the defense has been disappointing. It's been overshadowed by how good our offense has been, but I think I saw.
It hasn't been terrible. I know you gave me some numbers where they're like bottom 3 and something, but
yeah, I think Pro Football Focus had us either last or second to last in run defense. So it's definitely need a morale boost. Start feeling better about the defense going into the harder part of the schedule, which is definitely coming up after this week. So we both got the Cowboys by a lot. I got the Cowboys 34-13. I don't know if I mentioned that score, but that's what I got. Next game.
I think we put up 40, hopefully. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just thinking I think it's going to be a run game for
We
us.
well, I mean, we really did the same thing against the Giants too. I mean, we could have put up 50 on them, but we
Yeah,
just kind
100%.
of were like, all right, this game's over. So
Yeah. Um, I still think like even though we're definitely changing the way we play offense, I still think we're not really a team that's going to go out and put up 50 because once when you have Zeke and the offensive line we do, once you put up a big enough lead, there's no reason to still be chunking the ball around. You know what I mean?
right, just run out the clock, win the game, go home.
And to be fair, the Ravens are kind of the same way, but I think they're definitely trying to prove a point week one by
I
telling
think
people,
they're just trying to get Lamar going, get him
yeah,
hot.
100%.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
next game up, we got the Denver Broncos, who are 0-2, going to Green Bay to take on the 2-0
I
Packers. Who do
like
you got
this
in this one?
game. I like this game.
You got Denver?
I'm not gonna pick Denver, but I do look for Denver. Man, they got to be hot after losing last week.
Oh, 100%.
The way
Heartbreaking.
that game ended, man, I thought they had the win. You get that penalty, that atrocious penalty to give him 15 plus yards. They get close enough for the field goal, and he hits it. And I think it was a rough loss for him. But yeah, I gotta tell you, going forward, I like this Broncos team if they can, pick up in some spots where they're lacking. But obviously, the Green Bay defense is looking good. I see Blake Martinez is questionable. Probably looks like he'll play. Um, Listed as limited on Wednesday's practice, shoulder injury. So he's a big piece of that defense, but I think you got to go with Green Bay. I think the spread is 7.5. I
Oh,
don't know
that's
if I
pretty
would
big.
take that. I think I mean I like the plus 7.5 for Denver. Flacco actually has more passing yards. Freeman's looking good.
Yeah, I mean, Flacco, for all the shit he's getting, he hasn't looked horrible,
I
in all
mean,
honesty.
if you can get Emmanuel the ball,
Yeah.
Emmanuel is a problem.
Yeah, I
He's
mean, Cortland Sutton's
16.
nice too.
Yeah, 16 for 184 and two TDs. Devontae hasn't hit the end zone yet, and let's be honest, Packers offense has been looking a little rough.
Yeah,
I,
they got the run game going last week
I
though.
do
That
like
was a
Aaron
big thing.
Jones though. He's a big piece for Aaron Rodgers, getting older and stuff. So Broncos do have some bad luck though this year, so I'll go Green Bay at home.
Yeah, I'm going Green Bay 20-9. Um, just like you mentioned, yeah, the Packers offensively haven't looked great, but they've also played the Bears and the Vikings.
Yep, two top seven, two top six defenses.
Yeah, I mean at least,
Yeah,
but
at
and
least.
they looked good. I mean, they ran the ball really well against a really good Vikings defense
Yep.
last week. And Denver has struggled against the run this season. I think that the Packers might lean on that. They're super improved defensively.
Yeah.
Super improved. DVOA has them as a third defense in the NFL right now. Last year, they were 29th. So they've made a huge leap in that department.
Right.
Probably the best defense Aaron Rodgers had in a very long time.
Yeah.
Very long time. In Denver, they're not finishing drives at all. They have the fifth most yards per drive in the NFL, and they've only scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. That's tough.
They're converting 33% of their third downs, and they have a 28% touchdown in the red zone percentage, which is third worst in the league, worse than the Dolphins, but only because the Dolphins have been in the red zone 2 times.
Yeah, I look at the Denver. Their O line is a problem.
Big problem.
The defense is not as stout. Um, but I don't know, man. Denver is one of those teams that, especially with the Super Bowl winning quarterback, that I don't like to count out.
No, I mean
So I,
they
I
got a
like that.
chance in this one,
Yeah, I like that plus 7.5. But I think I would go Green Bay to win.
right? And I mean, I mentioned earlier that the 2% of teams that start 0-3 miss the playoffs. I mean, this is a giant game for Denver, but I don't.
Yeah, but I think they know they ain't going nowhere. That division is tough. I mean, their schedule, if you look at Denver's schedule, is pretty rough too.
Right. But I mean,
Uh,
this was a team going into the season that I think people maybe not expected too much out of, but thought that they could be a sleeper, maybe a sleeper playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at them as they'll be better than last year, but I didn't think they would make playoffs.
No, I mean this offensive line really is awful.
Hey,
And so
Freeman's look good though. Freeman's obviously taking a step. Uh,
yeah,
I don't know what I saw in him last year. I thought he was a little chubby, but this year he look. I don't know if he slimmed out, if that was just my eyes, but he looks good. I like Freeman going forward.
yeah, he's definitely looks like the best running back in that backfield.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked Lindsey last year, but the league I drafted him in, I traded him, and I'm just kind of over it now. So I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't touching that backfield in fantasy this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, a big game for the Broncos if they realistically want a shot at making the playoffs. I think they lose it regardless.
Yep.
So we both got the Packers in that one. Next up, pretty interesting game. Atlanta 1-1 in Indianapolis going up against the 1-1 Colts. Who you got in this one?
Okay, so the spread is 1.5. Atlanta plus 1.5. Over unders 47. I think the Falcons are kind of a spooky team going forward. I think they're kind of a dark horse. What I don't like is that I can't remember his first name, but Neal on the defense, who's probably one of their, if not their best player, one of their best players. He just always seems like he's banged up. I mean, every game he just balls out, and then he's on the injury report. So
Yeah.
I think they need him out there. Brissett has looked pretty good though.
Keanu Neal.
Yeah, Keanu Neal, who I like a lot. But I like Brissett. I mean, the Colts, if you look at their roster, they have a good team. I really like Ty. Marlon Mack has looked
he's
good.
looked good too. Ty's looked good.
Yeah, I mean, Marlon Mack had a great week 1. Brissett, 69% of his passes, 5 TDs, 1 pick. So I put on here Matt Ryan needs to take care of the ball. So I think that's the key to this game.
100%.
Both defenses allowed 24 points a game through 2 weeks. Gut tells me Atlanta will build off last week. So I think I'm going to pick Atlanta on the upset.
Yeah, I got Atlanta too. Wait, it's an upset? They got the Colts favored?
Yeah.
Wow, that's shocking. I got Atlanta 27-17. I'm not a betting man, but if I were a betting man, I'd put money on Atlanta right now.
Yeah.
I do worry about them because they got steamrolled in week 1. Like, it's steamrolled.
Yep.
What was the final score of the game? Was like 28-12 or something.
Yeah.
And that was with a garbage time touchdown. So they looked awful in week 1. And then on Sunday, they won the game. They won it against a good Eagles team, but that game should have been put away in the second or third quarter.
Okay, so the numbers have changed since last night when I was looking at this. They actually got the Falcons favored, but the Colts are not. Actually, wait, no, the Colts are still favored.
Okay.
But the spread is actually 1 now, just 1.
I'm sure a bunch of people are putting money on the Falcons.
Yeah. I think
I agree. She said 5 picks for Matt Ryan so far this year, most in the league, and some of those interceptions on Sunday night. Like what the fuck was he looking at?
Yeah, really bad.
That one into the end zone, was it like the third quarter?
Yeah.
What in the name of God was he throwing that to? I do not know.
But that audible to get that screen to Julio was incredible.
Yeah,
that was a great way to end the game.
That was a great play call, and it was frustrating to watch because the Eagles towards the end of that game were literally blitzing 7-8 people. Almost It seemed like every single play, and the Falcons were just doing nothing. And that screen play was a perfect call. Call. I do like this Falcons team. I mean, I think they're talented on both sides of the ball. They've had some defensive injuries already, which sucks for them because they had bad defensive.
That's what killed them last year.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, that sucks for them to see.
Matt Ryan needs the defense.
Yeah, and their D-line has been
out there more than anybody else in the league, man, with these turnovers. I mean, you're going to get some injuries, so he's got to clean that up.
100%, yeah. And I think their D-line has looked really good. In the pass rush, they were giving Carson Wentz fits last week against a really good Eagles O-line. They looked good in the Vikings game, rushing Kirk Cousins, but Kirk only threw the ball 10 times, so didn't really get to see it that much.
I'll tell you what I miss from Atlanta is Freeman being a monster. And
I
think Ryan misses that too.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't see it with Freeman. I don't see what everyone else sees.
I don't see it anymore, but I definitely used to see it.
He looks like he's definitely lost a step. Like there were multiple times Sunday night where I thought Ito Smith straight up looked better than
yeah, him. I agree with that too.
But in regards to this game, the Colts, I could see this maybe being a shootout. And I just don't know if the Colts
if Indy won, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, if Indy wins, it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yep.
But if the Falcons can put it together consistently offensively, I just don't see the Colts being able to keep up.
Yep.
While I like Brissett, he's really not like okay, we're in this game. It's a 30-point shootout. We need you to go out and score a touchdown here. Like I don't see Brissett as that type of a quarterback. He only threw the ball one time beyond 20 yards last week. Like they're not going to throw the ball.
Man, the Falcons just be flying around, man. They hit you hard.
Yeah.
I mean, they are a team with some attitude, man. So I don't know. I don't see that in Indy. I do think they're a well-coached team, and I think they're well put together. And Brissett's kind of got that Patriot charisma to him. You know what I mean? But something just tells me that Falcons are going to score more points than them.
Yeah. I agree. And I mean, it depends. Marlon Mack's dealing with some calf injury. I think he's going to play, but um, if they can get the ball going on the ground and get some stops on defense, then maybe I can see the Colts winning this game. I do have the Falcons though. I'm not like entirely confident about it though. To be honest with
Yeah,
you, I
me
could see
neither.
the Colts winning this game,
Yeah.
but I got the Falcons.
Okay.
Okay, next up we got the game of the week probably,
Yep.
most definitely probably game of the year so far.
Yep.
Ravens 2-0 going to Arrowhead. Chiefs 2-0. Who do you got? I'm interested to hear this.
Okay. So I mean, and I'm a betting man, so I'm not gonna bet against Patty.
Okay.
I'll take the Chiefs at home. The spread is 7. I don't know if I would take the spread or the money line. Over, I would 100% take the over 52.5. I think
Yeah,
this would be a big shootout. I don't know what to make. I put out here. I don't know what to make of the Kansas City backfield right now.
it's a
But I
mess.
did pick up Darwin Thompson in 2 leagues this week just to stash him on my bench. Damian Williams kind of scares me. LaShawn can't stay healthy. The Ravens actually average more yards per game and don't allow as many yards per game on defense. So you got to think the Ravens have a better defense. Lamar's looked good, but I put the Ravens will get a wake up call and Kansas City will win at home.
Yeah, I agree. I got the Chiefs 35-28. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's probably going to be more than that, honestly. But this is a great litmus test for the
Yep.
Ravens, really.
Yep.
It's just, I like the Ravens. Um, they've looked really good, obviously.
Yep.
But when you've played the Dolphins, who aren't going to win a game, like I said earlier, and you play the Cardinals, who I think me and you both agree are like we both like the Cardinals,
I definitely like their future
but
going
they're not like a great team at the current moment. So it's
right
hard to
now.
really gauge how good of a team you are. Um,
They put up a fight though, man. I
yeah,
almost
yeah,
thought they were gonna
100%,
win that game.
100%.
Yeah.
Lamar looks great, obviously. Um,
Love Hollywood Brown.
yeah, and I was just about to
Yeah.
say, like, who on this Chiefs defense is going to stop Hollywood Brown?
And their tight end. He's pretty good
Yeah,
too.
Mark Andrews. I don't see an
So he's
answer.
OU too, right? Mark Andrews is OU too, right?
I think I don't want to say
Almost
I'm
certainly
not.
believe.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't see the Chiefs having an answer for Hollywood Brown. But on the flip side of things, I don't care what defense you're running on the field. I think Patrick Mahomes could torch any defense in NFL history.
Yep.
Truthfully, I believe that. It's
Yep.
also the home opener. And Arrowhead is one of, if not the toughest place to play. So,
As you can't bet against that team right
no,
now. There's no
yeah,
way.
819 yards in first 2 games, fifth most ever to start a season for Patrick Mahomes. And Kyler Murray put up 349 against this defense a week ago.
Yeah,
So,
and people go crazy. Last week, no points in the first half. Raiders kind of getting them a hard time, and then second quarter, man, just 28,
right.
300 yards, like just torches them. So, and I like that Oakland team. We'll get to them here shortly.
Yeah, this is honestly this is a weird comparison, I know, but this Chiefs offense kind of reminds me a lot of like the Golden State Warriors offensively, where like you feel like you're in the game, you've been
Yep.
battling it out, and then they can just pour it on you in a heartbeat, and all of a sudden you look up and you're down 3 touchdowns. And you're like, wait, what the
I like,
fuck? We were just winning
yeah,
this game.
I like that comparison for sure.
It's just like the Ravens do have a good defense. It's going to be the best defense probably that the Chiefs have seen. I'd probably give the Ravens a slight edge over the Jags, maybe.
Yeah, I
But
would too.
yeah, I think that the Chiefs put the Ravens in a position where they have to throw the ball. The Ravens have had the luxury of being ahead in games. Like they could still run play actions. You still have to worry about the run. I think the Chiefs probably put them in a position where they're having to throw the ball. And I don't want to say Lamar Jackson gets exposed, but I don't think he has the games he's been having his first 2 weeks.
I think this is a potential. We could see this game again, maybe second round of playoffs
Yeah,
in the AFC. So
100% could be a,
yeah,
a playoff matchup for sure.
yep,
But we both got the Chiefs.
yeah,
I think it's going to be a fun game, though.
yeah. It'll be a great game.
Um, Next up, Raiders 1-1. Go to Minnesota, take on the Vikings 1-1. Who you got?
Oh man, now I'm really looking forward to this game. Okay, so the money line is plus 310. That is juicy. Over under is 43.5. I gotta think over on that. Man,
Yeah.
I think Oakland, the defenses look good. Some people give Gruden a hard time. I'm gonna be honest. I love Gruden.
Yeah.
ESPN's got 78% people predicting Minnesota. Derek Carr's had 70% completion. Kirk's had 52%. I guess you could look about the running backs, give a little edge to Dalvin, but I gotta
Yeah,
tell you,
especially
I like this Josh Jacobs. I like this Josh Jacobs a lot. He can
Yeah.
catch out of the backfield. He runs you over. He plays with the dog mentality. He's from Bama. I think it'll be a good game, but at the bottom here, I put F it. I'll go Oakland.
Yeah. You're on Oakland.
Yep.
I got Minnesota 27-20, but I agree with what you said. I think the Raiders probably honestly finish like 6 wins, 7 wins, but they're going to be one of those teams that like they play everyone close. They pull off a couple upset wins. Like they're going to be one of those bad to mediocre teams, but you still don't want to see them. You know what I mean?
I look for this team in a parlay to boost my parlay winnings. So that's what I'm looking for.
Right. That's fair. But I look at it like I don't know. I honestly don't know what to make of this Oakland team quite yet because like they look really good against the Broncos at home, and then
I think that was a tough game too.
yeah,
Like
I mean
Denver could have won that game so easily, man. It was crazy.
right, and I mentioned this when we talked about the Broncos. Like they're 0-2, but I think they're a little bit better than that. They've
I just think
lost two really
This Oakland
close
team's
tough
got some
games.
edge. You got Perfect, you got Gruden, you got Carr. He needs to prove something. You know what I mean? He's
Right.
got that chip. You got Josh Jacobs. You got a decent O-line. You got Waller, who I love. I like Tyrell Williams. I don't know. I just think Oakland's got more dog than Minnesota, and if they can shut down Dalvin, they win this game.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. This Oakland defense only allowed 1.9 yards per carry against the Chiefs. Granted, the Chiefs' backfield isn't Dalvin Cook, but
Right, and they don't really
um,
run in general.
yeah, true.
Just they
But I
can
mean,
throw to the backs if anything.
1.9 yards per carry is still god
Yeah,
awful, regardless
it's
of
good.
your
Yep,
situation.
yep.
Um, I'm still picking the Vikings though because I think that they need this win, and I think they need kind of a statement win because they blew out the Falcons in Week 1. Kirk Cousins only threw the ball 10 times. Then they lose to the Packers, and Kirk Cousins looks like utter trash. So I mean, you mentioned this before we started recording that Kirk Cousins said he's not going to be playing much longer if he played like he did Sunday, and that's true. You won't.
Yep. I mean, it's one of those things, like you said, Minnesota needs this game. I think if Oakland wants to even be decent this year, they need this game too. So I
Yeah,
think Gruden's going in there like, hey guys, y'all wanna show these people we're a team, especially without AB. Let's go beat Minnesota at their place.
right. I
So I'm gonna rock out with Oakland, and if I can get some money on my account, I'm gonna take that money line too.
yeah. I mean, I'm not confident about my Minnesota pick, but I think that they pull it off. It's a capable team. It
This
is.
is
I mean,
my one upset pick that I actually love right here this week.
yeah, and I mean I like the Raiders in a lot of upset picks. I was disappointed in their performance against the Chiefs. They were up 10-0. And this is team. Okay, so last year at home against the Chiefs, they put up 33 points. The year before that, they put up 31. So I thought that last week could have been a fun, exciting shootout game. They only put up 10 points. So I like and Josh Jacobs, as much as I like him, uh, he's dealing with an injury right now. Correct?
Okay. Yeah.
So
That could be
I got the
huge. I
Vikings.
mean, if he
Yeah,
doesn't
I mean
play,
100%.
that's pretty big.
I got the Vikings. I'm not super happy about that pick or excited about it, but I just think that they're the better team right now, and I just got to go
Tyrell
with that.
Williams is questionable too. He's with a hip injury.
That's right. He had like a hip pointer or something.
Uh,
Um,
Josh Jacobs been under the weather of late and has dropped 10 pounds dealing with a groin injury. That's 20 minutes ago. So that doesn't make me feel great about my pick, but
so he's been under the weather with a groin injury.
yeah. So both, and they
God
say he's
damn,
lost
lost
10
10
pounds.
pounds.
Yeah. So I don't know what that's about, but I don't feel great about it.
Dude, I feel horrible about that. I'm feeling really good
Yeah.
on my Minnesota pick right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, next up. Oh my God, next up we got another barn burner here. The Jets 0-2 go to New England to take on the 2-0 Patriots.
Yeah, another one of my games where I have basically almost no notes. It'll be ugly. The Jets are very unimpressive. I'll tell you that third string quarterback is probably better than Simeon, though. I think we learned that last week. Simeon, even before he got hurt, I don't wish anybody injury, but he looked pretty bad.
Right.
Never been a big fan of his. Tom Brady probably plays about half if they're up by 3 scores and get Stidham some work. So I look for this to be a landslide. New England, I mean, minus 23 on Bovada. I
That's
mean,
high.
they probably cover though. I mean, being honest, their
Yeah.
defense is good, and their offense is clicking. I mean, AB is gonna play. I don't know. I think it's gonna be ugly, and it's New England by a landslide.
Yeah, I got Pats 38-9. It's like there's really not much to say about this game, honestly. The Jets. Yeah, Luke Falk looked better than Simeon on Monday night for sure, but it's a whole lot different when you're game planning and then you come into play and defenses aren't expecting you because you're the third string quarterback, rather than you come into
They know
play.
nothing about you.
Right. This sucks for me because before going into the season, I thought the Jets were like a maybe sneak into the wild card team. I really did. And then once Darnold goes down, you lose week one, heartbreaking fashion. Darnold goes down, then obviously the season's out the window now.
And you have one good player. Like it's just
right. I mean,
and then
Le'Veon's look good. And
yeah,
they're going to give him
he looks really good.
He's going to get like 30 to 40 touches for
He
here on
should.
out. They should just run it behind center, honestly.
Yep.
Do some
So what's the deal with Jamal Adams? Do you have anything on that? Like,
well,
is he going anywhere? Can the Cowboys snag him? Because I know me and you would both love that.
100%. I like just the things that I saw was just some speculation. Like there was a tweet going around that he unfollowed the Jets, and then I saw another tweet that said he never followed the Jets to begin with. So I don't know what the fuck's going on there, man.
People act like, okay, that means he's getting traded. Like,
right. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's something going on behind the scenes. I would love for the Cowboys to scoop him up. I mean, if Jamal Adams becomes available,
I mean, I would almost give up whatever they wanted for him. That would really solidify us on defense.
I would too. I mean, that's our biggest need right there.
Exactly.
Sorry about going on a Cowboys right there, but
it'll
Patriots.
Happen. It'll happen.
Patriots easily the best team in the NFL. We both agree on that.
I mean, yeah, I look for the Chiefs and Patriots to rematch AFC Championship most likely. Right. So I think the Chiefs are right there with them, and then we don't want to get too much about the Cowboys, but I think we're right there with them too.
Like a DVOA, Patriots, they're number 4 on offense, they're number 1 on defense. So they're like the most balanced team in the league. Their defenses looked insane.
Yeah, but against not great teams.
Right. I mean, the Steelers, though, you hold them to 3 points.
Yeah, but you could tell, man. Big Ben was hurt week 1. He came out in the season and he was hurt.
Right.
He looked horrible.
Even then, you look at that Steelers offense: James Conner, Big Ben,
I really don't trust Conner. I didn't draft him. I'm in 4 leagues. I didn't draft him in one of them. I don't trust him. He's always banged up. I don't love their receivers other than Juju. And I mean, I like Vance McDonald, and they got a good O-line, but I almost think their defense is better than their offense. If you can get Mason going, then okay. But I don't think Pittsburgh's gonna make the playoffs. I
don't either.
If Mason looks really good, then maybe. But
I'm more saying like I'm just giving the Patriots their flowers for holding that team to 3 points because that's a team that is better than 3 points.
I agree with that.
Dolphins 0 points. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Their 73-point differential is the 3rd highest to start a season, the highest since 1975. They've only given up 3 points. And I just want to put this in perspective because they're playing a Jets team that's on their 3rd string quarterback that has looked ugly offensively to start the season regardless.
The Jets probably won't score 10 points.
No team since the merger has given up less than 7 points in the first 3 weeks. And the Patriots have only given up 3. I just want to throw that out there.
They have that chance. Chance.
That's very, very possible. AB looked good in his debut. I mean, that's...
If he can stay on the field for them and not get suspended or anything, that's going to be a problem.
If he can stay on the field for them, not get suspended, it's hard to see a team beating this Patriots team. I don't think they're going to go 16-0 or anything. I'm more saying like in the playoffs. It's hard to see them losing. And the thing is about this Patriots team, they have not been able to run the ball yet, really consistently. So if they can figure that out, good God,
that'd be dangerous.
Yeah. So we both got the Patriots in a landslide. Next up, this is an interesting one here. Lions 1-0-1, technically undefeated, going up against the Eagles in Philly. Who do you got?
Ooh, that's a good one. All right, so the money line is Detroit plus 225. Probably my second juiciest upset of the week. I've always been a Stafford guy. I like Stafford. I put slightly biased on here. I would love to see Detroit win on the road. I also put Patricia getting the defense better. Defense looked pretty good, shutting down Chargers last week. I put in Philly, but ... I'll go with the Lions.
Yeah. I got the Lions.
I don't like the 6 is kind of tough, so I'll just say they win. It'll be a close one, I think. It'll go down to the wire.
Yeah, I got the Lions 28-24. And yes, we are Cowboys fans, understand that. But here's the thing though. I'm going to tell you why I think this. It's not just some biased hatred. They get the Eagles. They are beat to hell already. So
Yep, they're hurting.
Alshon Jeffrey did not practice. Deshaun Jackson did not practice. Dallas Goedert did not practice. Timmy Jernigan did not practice. He's obviously not playing. And then Derek Barnett and Fletcher Cox were limited at practice. So this is a team that going into the season, probably their biggest question mark number one was, can Wentz stay healthy? He already missed plays already in week 2.
I was gonna say he probably didn't practice very much either.
To me, my next biggest question mark for them was, can this secondary was garbage last year,
Yep.
and you could a lot of that has to do with injuries, but they've been awful to start the season again.
I was gonna say it looks like Fletcher Cox is kind of taking a step back as well. He doesn't seem as dominant.
Yeah, I mean he's kind
When
of
they won the Super Bowl, he was dominant.
Yeah, I mean he's kind of a little banged up right now, but
well, I guess that's their story then.
Do you agree? I think the D line has taken a tiny step backwards.
Yep.
They're still dominant in the run game though. Like it's going to be impossible to run against.
Well, they fly around. They blitz a lot.
Yeah, they blitz a ton.
They blitz a lot. So, but I just like in a shootout. I like Stafford here.
Right, and the Lions got a good old line too.
Great receivers.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, Sunday night against the Falcons, the Eagles gave up 2 100-yard receiving games. Ridley had 105 yards on 8 catches and a touchdown. Julio had 106 on 5 catches and 2 touchdowns. Yep. And then week 1, they gave 125 yards to Terry McLaurin in his first game ever against Case Keenum. Case Keenum was lighting them up.
Yep.
So this secondary is not good. If any team in the league needs Jalen Ramsey, it is them. And I would be shocked, honestly, if Jalen Ramsey doesn't end up an Eagle. I think they do whatever they can to get him because
they need him for sure.
They need some corner help, some secondary help, 100%, because it looks bad. And the Lions, they're a team that passes the ball. Like the Eagles are really good against the run. The Lions don't give a fuck. They don't run the ball.
Yep.
They don't.
Nope.
They are technically undefeated. Like they could very easily be 0-2 though.
That was a big win for them though. That was a big.
It was, but the Chargers almost handed them that game.
Yeah, well, as a team that hasn't been great for a long time since Calvin Johnson, I think they'll take that.
You got to take those games 100%.
Yeah.
But I also wrote right here they could also be 2-0. You know,
yeah.
They pull that one off against the Cardinals in week 1, and we're talking about it.
I credit that to Kyler Murray though. I credit that to him being a dog and coming back, even though they didn't get the win, get the tie. You feel good about going forward. But I don't know. I like Detroit in this game. If they can step on Philly's throat here, Philly might be in trouble. We might be looking at, dare I say, the Giants being the second seed in the NFC East.
Hell no.
Hey, Daniel Jones out here. I don't think that's as bad of a team as people are saying.
They're pretty bad though.
Okay, we'll see.
But the Lions, like I said, they can pass the ball well. I mean, they got. I think you mentioned this earlier. They got good receivers: Marvin Jones, Kenny Golladay, T.J. Hawkinson is a monster too, even though he didn't do much. Sunday, but I see this being a shootout definitely. And given the Eagles' injuries right now, offensively, Alshon, Deshaun Jackson, like those, if they don't play,
I thought Deshaun was their biggest. I thought he was the thing that really separated them as far as can they be better this year was Deshaun Jackson. That's when I look at Philly on the schedule, and that's who scares me is Deshaun Jackson.
Right, and we saw that in week 1 when they were losing 17-0 and 2 big plays to Deshaun Jackson. All of a sudden, you look up and they're controlling the game.
Yep.
But like, if this gets into a shootout, the Eagles, all their injuries, can they keep up? I really do not think so. So I do not like the Eagles, but I feel confident in this pick. Like, it's not just me hating it on the Eagles. I have my reasons behind it. All right, let's move on to these 3:00 games. First one, we got the Panthers at 0-2 going to Arizona to take on the 0-1-1 Cardinals. Who you got?
Yeah, another banged up team, man. The Panthers are looking rough. Did you say Cam is not playing for sure?
Well, they're saying he wasn't in practice. He's in a walking boot. Sorry, he reagitated his foot sprain.
So he probably shouldn't be playing.
No, I'd be shocked if he played. And they're saying Kyle Allen was the one taking the snaps.
Where is he out of?
Houston, and he went to A&M and Houston, I think.
Oh, A&M, right. That's where he beat out Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, that's interesting because they might be playing each other. I look for Kyler Murray to get his first win here, and I want as much as I want them to look good. I don't want them to win it ugly. I want them to win it professionally.
Right.
I've always liked Bruce Arians. At home, I think it's their home opener. Have they played at home yet?
Yeah, the Lions game was at home.
Oh, okay. So at least you got the tie week 1. I think Carolina comes in here beaten up, and I think Cardinals will take it.
Yeah, I got the
It's actually
Cardinals.
not even a spread. There wasn't a spread last night, so I don't know if they've updated that, but
Oh, really? Then I guess with the Cam Newton news, I would imagine Cardinals probably get bumped up a little bit there.
probably be favorited.
But yeah, I got the Cardinals too, and I got the Cardinals like in a semi blowout, 31-17. I just even with Cam Newton on the field, this Panthers team has not been impressive. Like Christian McCaffrey ran for like 30 yards last week. I mean, offensively, if Christian McCaffrey's not going, Cam Newton's not going, then what's going on with that team? You know what I mean?
Nothing, pretty much.
Right. I'm not crazy about the receivers. DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel are nice, but like I'm not
They're both like
too
number
excited about them.
twos.
Yeah, exactly. And the Cardinals, man, we talked about this, and we talked about this a lot off here. Me and you both like this Cardinals team. Like,
Yep.
they're,
Big
they're
Kyler Murray fan. He grew up right next to us.
yeah, that's true. They're going to be a fun team to watch this year, and they're going to be one of those teams. I said this about the Raiders, where they might not win a lot of games, maybe 5, 6, 7 games if they're
They'll
lucky.
give people some problems.
Right. Like they're a team you don't really want to play though. You'll see them on your schedule and think, okay, we should win that game, but I'm not like
We
it's
don't
a
play
worrisome.
them, do we? Do we have to play them?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But their
Yeah,
run
I look for the
defense
Cardinals to look good.
yeah, I mean the run defense has been a little shoddy so far, but like if Cam Newton's not there and you sell out to stop the run, which is exactly what the Buccaneers did last week.
Yep.
Then you got a chance. And this is a Panthers defense that made Jameis Winston look good last Thursday. So I think that
good. I mean, their receivers are problems too. The Bucks got some receivers.
Yeah. So I got the Cardinals. I just if it does get into a shootout, I see no chance the Panthers can keep up.
Yep.
So we both got the Cardinals there. Next game, kind of a stinker, but the New York Giants 0-2 go to Tampa to take on the 1-1 Bucks. You got the Bucks.
Yeah, they're minus 290. I wouldn't touch this game as far as betting, but I guess I'll go the Bucks, but I'm nowhere near confident about it. That's what I put.
Yeah, I'm going the Bucks. I am pretty confident in it. I got them winning 31-19. Daniel Jones is
Couldn't
starting.
you just see Jameis Winston losing to Daniel Jones or something, throwing a couple picks?
I mean, yeah,
dude,
I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't touch this game betting wise.
God, like, yeah, Daniel Jones is starting. It's going to be like a boost to the team's morale. But
I mean, if you can just get the ball to Evan Ingram and Saquon, they got a decent O-line now to move the ball.
Right, but if I'm the Buccaneers, why do I play any different than I did on Thursday night? I sell out. I stop the run.
Because it's all Jameis. Can Jameis play like that?
Right, but I mean, I'm looking at this game. If Tampa could put up 14 points, maybe they win the game.
Yeah. I mean, but we haven't seen Daniel Jones in a real game yet.
No, we haven't.
That's true. That's where I'm like, I just don't know.
Sterling Shepard might be out of this game too. I think that's something.
Yeah. I don't love that, but I think Evan Ingram's better than him anyway. So
right. I mean, I like Evan Ingram. I think Evan Ingram might have a big game. You got a young rookie quarterback. They love going their tight ends for like safety valves. Yep. And the Bucks just gave up 110 to Olsen last week.
I mean, if you were going to say who the best player in this game was, you'd probably say Saquon. So.
Well, yeah, 100%. Say Saquon. You probably say that in a bunch of games, honestly.
In a bunch of games, yeah.
But this Bucks team, like, I've talked about this to you off air. I don't know, man. With Breeze out, the Falcons look a little shaky.
Yeah.
I don't give them a high percent chance. Maybe I give them like a 20-25% chance of maybe sneaking this division out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like they've had a surprisingly good defense so far.
I just think the Saints can hold it together good enough to go 3-3 at least during this 6-game stretch. Hopefully, I mean Bree. I think he'll be back in 6 weeks. People are saying it'll be longer. I think they'll be fine. I'm not too worried about them. I'm never that confident in the Bucks. It just always seems like something goes wrong. I mean, Jameis has got all the weapons he really needs. They don't use O.J. Howard. Their backs are pretty good. I I don't really know too much about their defense right now, but I
They
guess
look good.
yeah.
Todd Bowles, I mean, he's
Yeah,
looked
you
good.
gotta
They
love him as a
blitz.
coordinator.
They blitz more than pretty much anybody. They blitzed 60% of the time against the Panthers last week. Like what they did against the Panthers is probably what they're going to do against the Giants because they blitzed. They put their corners on man, and they said, "All right, Cam, beat us throwing the ball. Like we're going to
That's
blitz
kind of
you."
spooky. I mean, if you can just get a Saquon on the screen, I mean that might be a problem.
Right,
Blitzing like that.
but you look at the wideouts though. If they're just blitzing going man, who on that receiving core is beating anybody? With especially if starting Shepard's out.
Yeah, if Shepard's out, that'd be
I
a
mean,
problem.
you talk about the screens, but Christian McCaffrey is one of the best receiving backs in the NFL, if not the best one. And
I
he
was thinking
didn't do
that
anything.
too. Yeah, but man, the Panthers just don't get it on offense.
No, they don't.
Whatever they're doing on offense,
But
they just make. They just
you think the Giants do?
they just know, but Panthers just don't do it right. I don't know what they're doing.
No, the Panthers are a mess right now. If I'm a Panthers fan, I am gravely concerned about the future of my franchise. Gravely concerned. I was about to say something else. And the reason why I don't want to say I'm like over the moon excited for this Buccaneers team, but I'm decently excited in them is they have not gotten Mike Evans going at all.
Yeah,
They haven't gotten O.J. Howard going at all. And to be honest with you, I don't know if they ever do because they're using him as a blocker because their offensive line is not good. So they need him blocking.
And Mike Evans can block.
Yeah. I mean, like, if they can start getting Mike Evans going, Chris Godwin is a monster, an absolute monster. Then this is kind of a dangerous Bucs team, honestly. I'm not in love with them or anything, but
we'll see how they do against some better teams.
Wait, so did you pick the Giants to win the game?
No, I'll go Bucs. I'll go Bucs.
All right. Next up, we got a pretty good game here. Texans 1-1 going to LA to take on the 1-1 Chargers.
Yeah, very intriguing. Houston's plus 150. The spread is 3. Over under is 47.5. You'd like to think they'd go over. Be a high scoring game. Both teams scare me. I put on here. Deshaun is always getting beat up.
100%.
Very similar teams I also put on here. They're very similar. Chargers just lost to the Lions. Texans barely just beat the Jags. I also wrote the word sigh on here. Chargers bounce back game goes down to the wire. I guess I'll go Chargers at home.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. Down to the wire, I got Chargers 24-20. I'm not impressed by either of these teams, to be honest with you. Like, the Chargers just
I'm ready for this Dak Deshaun conversation to go to bed, for sure.
Yeah, just for the time being. I think
I like Deshaun. It's just, man, it's
their
tough.
Situations are different right now, though.
Yeah.
It's hard for any quarterback to look really solid behind that offensive line.
I agree.
But the Chargers, they won. Their week 1, they won in overtime against the Colts, and then lose just absolutely. This Chargers team, dude, it's like they always find ways to lose. This team can never get out of their own fucking way.
Yep.
They had two in one drive last week. They had 2 touchdowns called back by penalties. There was I don't know if it was an Eckler screen pass or the Justin Jackson run that was called back for a block in the back. It wasn't a good call, but still, you have 2 touchdowns called back for a penalty on the same drive, and then in that same drive, you get to the goal line and fumble the ball at the goal line with Eckler. And then you miss 2 field goals. You lose the game by 3. They lose the game by 3 or 4. I don't remember, but they lost the game by 3. You miss 2 field goals. You get the ball towards the end of the game. You have a chance to go downfield, tie the game. You're in the red zone or near the red zone, 3rd and 18. Probably should just play conservatively and kick a field goal for the tie. Instead, Phillip Rivers throws into double coverage in the end zone and gets picked off to end the game. Like, this Chargers team just consistently wants to lose, it feels like.
Yeah, I don't know if it's time to start drafting a quarterback or something.
I mean, Rivers hasn't looked bad. Like, it probably is time to start looking for
quarterback,
though.
10 fantasy points last week, and he's got Keenan Allen and a bunch of other guys.
Just looking beyond fantasy, though. He's looked all right, but, like...
You gotta love Eckler, though, especially if you're a fantasy owner of his.
Yeah, Eckler's looked good. I mean, Keenan Allen has looked good. This dude
is a
like
monster.
by the end of the season, we might probably talking about him in like top 3 conversations. Honestly, like he looks really good.
He's been underrated really his whole career for sure.
Yeah, and he's been a monster so far this year. And they still have Mike Williams too. They got a bunch of.
I like Mike. Mike too.
They definitely have some. Like, I guess the reason why I get frustrated with this Chargers team is because I want them to be better because I like them. I always thought they have some of the dopest helmets in the
This
NFL.
could be a big win for Houston, though. So they're probably going into this game almost thinking must win, especially with the division looking how it's looking. This would be a big win for Houston, but it's just hard for me to pick them right now. So I'm gonna rock with the Chargers at home.
Yeah, see, I don't know if this is a must win for Houston because looking at that division, how many wins realistically do you think wins that division? 9? I would not be
I still
surprised
think
if
you need 9-10 though. Usually,
I wouldn't be surprised if a 9-7 team came out of that division.
yeah.
But was it at the AFC South that like a 7-win team came out of a few years ago, or is that the NFC South? I can't remember. But that division is just not good at all. I'm not impressed by a single team in that division. Um, I would be shocked if Deshaun Watson finishes this season. I really would.
Mm-hmm.
He takes an absolute beating back there. Their defense has not impressed me. They gave up 123 to Michael Thomas in week 1. I think Keenan Allen probably torches this defense.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I
and
think
their
their defense isn't as good as people thought it was gonna be.
like their offense too. Like they threw the ball for 159 yards against the Jags. Granted, the Jags do have a good defense, and only 268 against the Saints. They've
Do you,
thrown
do you think that?
371 yards is the
Sorry.
ninth lowest in the NFL so far.
Do you think the Lamar Miller loss was pretty big for them?
See, I don't know because Carlos Hyde looks good.
He does, but I still think Lamar was kind of that consistent. You know what I mean?
I've never been high on Lamar Miller.
Me
Really,
neither.
ever.
But I feel like for that team, they're more of a passing team, but Lamar could kind of get those nice yards throughout the game. I mean, I guess Carlos Hyde's okay, but I don't know. I think they're missing him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the offensive line is so bad.
Yeah.
How have teams not learned this yet? I mean, they're making moves to beef up the offensive line. I don't want to make it sound like they're not, but like,
I didn't even think the Tunzel
how is
move
it
was
taking
that
so long?
great. I didn't think that was that great. He hasn't been that good since he's been in the league.
I mean, I like him. I think he's good.
I
They
guess
gave up a lot. They
yeah.
gave up a lot though.
Yeah.
2 firsts, man. That's a hefty price tag.
Could have used
man.
that on a couple linemen.
Especially if Ramsey's about to go for like 1 first or something,
Mhm.
that you have to think that that's a big price to pay.
Yep.
But I don't know. I'm just not impressed by this Texans team. Keep in mind, the Texans, if the Jags converted on that 2-point conversion last week, we're looking at maybe an 0-2 Texans team.
Yep.
I mean, you can't really say that because on the flip side, they did lose in heartbreaking fashion against the Saints in week 1. But like,
Which that was a game.
right. So I don't know. I got the Chargers here.
Oh.
I'm not entirely confident about this Chargers team. Like, I'm not confident about this pick really.
Yep.
But I got the Chargers. Neither of these teams impress me that much. All right, next up we've got the Steelers, who are 0-2, going to San Fran to take on the 2-0 49ers. Who do you got in this one?
It's another good one. It's kind of one of those things again. Mason Rudolph. We don't really know what it's going to look like. I mean, we've seen him a little bit before, and I like him. I think he's pretty solid. San Fran has looked good. We were talking a little bit off. You kind of like how they're looking. I think they were my pick for 2-0 team to not make the playoffs. So I'm kind of struggling with this game. 49ers beat Tampa Bay, and they beat Cincy. You're a little bit higher on Tampa Bay than I am. Pitts played New England and Seattle, which we know are both playoff teams. I mean, in all likelihood. Pittsburgh could be a sneaky upset pick here. They're plus 225, especially if Mason Rudolph looks good. You got Minka in there, maybe shut down Marquise Goodwin a little bit. I'll tell you though, 49ers run game, they got some running backs in that backfield.
Yep.
So this was one of the games I had to sleep on, and man, I think I'm gonna go San Fran at home.
Yeah, I got San Fran too, but I'm not that confident in the Steelers. I think 49ers win 28-17.
Okay.
I think like you just mentioned it, I am pretty high on this 49ers team, at least from what I've seen so far. It's looking like they really might have a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense. They look like the real deal. And you mentioned the running backs. Shanahan's always going to get the most out of their running backs. Breida looks really good. I really like Matt Breida. I think he's the best running back in that backfield, even if Tevin Coleman's healthy.
And you got this Mostert guy.
Yeah, I mean he had a nice game last week too. Yeah. The thing I look at this 49ers team is last year they had historically low turnovers. They only forced 7 turnovers last year. And turnovers are one of those like fluky things where, yeah, if you have a good defense, you're gonna get more turnovers, but there's a lot of luck involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a number that was going to go up, and thus like their performance is going to go up. They already have 5 takeaways this year, which is the most in the NFL right now. So they're figuring that out defensively, which I really like to see. I look at this Steelers team. Damn, man, they look bad.
Yeah.
They look really not good. You get like Juju. I like him. I think he's good. He's nowhere near Antonio Brown though.
Nope.
Like nowhere near. I think expectations for him are probably a little too high.
Yep.
And then you look at their second dude. Dante Moncrief is atrocious.
Yeah, he's a bad number 2, man. It doesn't get much worse than that.
No, I don't think it gets much worse.
I
don't think it gets
Cowboys
worse.
wide receiver situation last year. He would have fit
right.
Would have fit right in.
Worse than Dante Moncrief. He has looked so bad. I can't even fathom how you are an NFL player and you look as bad as he has looked. I'm not trying to like just go super hard on the dude, but my God, have some respect for yourself. I think at James Conner, you mentioned you don't like him that much. I think he's okay.
I like him. He's always banged up.
Yeah, and he's hurt again. He's hurt again. The defense has been terrible. They did trade for Minka Fitzpatrick though. And,
the 49ers, I will say, I was kind of going into last year. I thought the 49ers were going to be a sneaky team. It looks like this year they got it together.
Right.
Because if they would have like barely beat the Bengals, like barely beat Tampa Bay, I would have been like, but they beat them pretty good. So
yeah, I'm just looking. I really think they might finish with a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense. Right now they have the highest ranked offensive line in all of football.
I gotta tell you though, looking at their schedule later in the year, it gets pretty tough, man. After they play Cleveland week 5, it's LA, Washington. I guess Carolina's bad, but they got Arizona, Seattle, Arizona again, Green Bay, Baltimore, New Orleans, Atlanta, LA again, Seattle again. I mean, that is a rough finish to the schedule.
Yeah. That's why these are important games for them. You got to win these easy. I don't want to say easy because that's a little disrespectful, but
I mean, through week 8, they should be 6-2 at least.
Right. I mean, yeah, looking at it at LA Rams, that's a tough one.
Right. I mean, maybe Browns, Cleveland beats them, but I think San Fran's better than them, really.
We're going to touch on the Browns here in a second, but yeah, I agree. But like, just looking at this game in particular, I do have the 49ers. I feel very confident. I don't really see the Steelers having a chance. Truthfully, I do like Mason Rudolph, and
I like him.
But because he looked decent when he filled in for Big Ben last week. But again, I mentioned this earlier. Like, it's a whole lot different when you're a backup quarterback and you go into a game and the other defense hasn't planned around you, and you have a whole week where a defense is playing around you. It's a whole different story. So we'll see.
And I don't want to just shut down the Steelers for the season because they're too respected of a team for me to just be like, yeah, they're done for the year already.
Right, and they've got the talent. Like,
that's what I'm saying. This would be a big win for Pittsburgh if they could come out and beat this team, but it's hard for me to pick them right now.
And I mean, I think I did pick them. I think we both kind of said that they were the 0-2 team that we think could turn around. Them and the Jags. But if they lose this week, it's over. I don't see they lose this week, it's over.
Yeah. So
big game for the Steelers. I just don't see them winning it. I would say even though they're 2-0, I agree with what you're saying. This is kind of a big game for the 49ers.
Yep. They got, man, I'm telling you, those last 8 weeks are really pretty rough.
You're right. You are right, man. Seahawks, Cardinals, Packers, Ravens, Saints, Falcons, Rams, Seahawks. That is a brutal end of the season. And yeah, they need to win these games. These games. All right. So we both you picked the 49ers, right?
Yeah, I'll take them.
Yeah, okay. We both got the 49ers. Now moving on to an interesting game. Saints 1-1 going to Seattle, take on the 2-0 Seahawks. What do you think?
Oh man, another game where we got a backup quarterback.
Yeah, I know it's brutal.
So we got a 4.5 point spread. Seattle is -220 at home. Saints are +180 on the road.
Wow, I'm actually honestly kind of shocked by that spread.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say Seattle be a little bit more favored.
I thought they'd be a little bit more higher. Yeah,
like maybe -6, -7.
Yeah, touchdown favorite.
Over under is 45. You have to think over on that.
Really, I think under there.
I don't know. I could see Russell Wilson putting up some points, and I still think I think Kamara will at least do something.
Right, but I always fear going over on running teams because like if the Seahawks get ahead,
I mean, I don't think they're as much of a running team as they were last year. I think they got back to this Russell Wilson balling out with Carson as kind of the second option
Yeah.
because I like Metcalf as a number two receiver. You got
Yep.
Lockett, who's turned into a pretty damn good number one.
He's a big boy.
I put great game, tough first for New Orleans without Breeze. Saints, 150 rush yards a game, I think. If I'm not mistaken on that, I don't know. I'm kind of weird on my notes right there. Can Carson get going and not fumble? I put that on there.
Yep.
Um, if Seattle looks good, I'm really gonna start being concerned about them come December. So I think I'll rock with Russ at home. That's what I got.
Yeah. I got the Seahawks too. 27-13 is my score prediction. This is a tough one for the Saints.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. You got this is your first game without Breeze, and you're going up against a really, really good Seahawks team in Seattle. So we're going to see a lot about what Teddy Bridgewater's about, what he's made of. I just don't think it's enough, honestly.
Okay, so my 150 stat was the Saints give up 150 yards rushing.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's what
I was
it
about to
is.
say. I didn't think Kamara went off like that.
No.
Really.
Yeah, so they're allowing that per game. So
Yeah.
this could be a breakout game for Carson, hopefully, for those of us that have him in fantasy.
Yeah, I mean Carson looked really good week 1, and he looked good week 2. But those 2 fumbles, like my God. But the thing I think that is a little boost of confidence to anyone who does have Chris Carson in fantasy. They pulled him after the 2 fumbles. Rashad Penny got a lot of looks, but when the game was on the line and they needed a first down to ice the game, they did put Carson back out there. So they definitely have confidence in him.
You gotta like Penny though as number 2. He's pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, I think Carson is like leaps and bounds better than him, but I do like Penny. And
as a number 2. As a number 2.
Yeah, and I think he looks good for number 2, but he was a first round pick, and you want your first round picks to look better than he has, honestly.
Sure. Give you that.
But I do really like the Seahawks team, man.
Yeah.
That NFC West is just brutal this year.
I mean, you gotta like the coach. You gotta think some of these teams, man, with the Belichick's and the Pete Carrolls, the Andy Reid's, they're tough to count out.
They're always going to be contenders.
I'm kind of just I'm not yet done with the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? You got Mike Tomlin. You got a team that just wants to win and is a classic organization. So I mean that's the thing with Saints too. I mean you got Sean Payton. Teddy Bridgewater is a capable quarterback. Now, I don't know why Sean Payton comes out and says we're going to be going with a 2 quarterback system or whatever that was. I don't know if you saw that, but
I think maybe he's being like they're going to get Taysom Hill more involved.
Okay, that's what I was thinking too. That's what I was thinking, that Hill might be in some Wildcat stuff or something.
Because they run those even with Breeze playing.
I mean, I love Hill as a football player. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, he's fun.
But I just think Seattle will come out with this game. They'll probably get some stops, maybe a fumble or 2. Hopefully, I think if Seattle cannot turn the ball over, they for sure have this game in the bag. But I mean, you can never count out the Saints. I mean, especially if Kamara can torch him or something. You still got Michael Thomas if you can get him the ball. So I think New Orleans plus 4.5 might be a good pick here. But I think Seattle comes out with the win.
Yeah, and going back to your Sean Payton point, like he's going to get the most out of Bridgewater for sure. Yep. So it's going to be we're going to see what Teddy Bridgewater really is. I'm personally not a big believer in the dude. Like I think he's a good backup quarterback for sure.
Who was it in the offseason? I think it was Chris Canty on Fox. He said if you could stick Bridgewater on the Cowboys, they'd be a mile better than with Dak or something like that.
God.
Wonder if he's regretting that statement.
But the weird thing is there are a lot of Teddy Bridgewater truthers that think that he is like going to be a superstar quarterback. I don't see
maybe RG3-esque where the injury kind of just set him back. D-Rose-esque.
But the thing was,
then he just
he wasn't that great.
He really wasn't that good before.
Like RG3 was legitimately really fucking good.
Like a monster.
But like Teddy Bridgewater, I don't know. I don't see it. I think he's a good backup quarterback though. I will say that the Saints could be in a much worse position.
Yes, very solid backup.
And like you said, if they go 3-3, I would even say in this division like 2-4, just win a few games.
Yeah,
you're very much still alive in it.
Yeah,
but I do have the Seahawks winning this game, and I don't want to be that guy. But going into the season, there's obviously no proof of this. I really thought the Seahawks had a chance to win the NFC West because I expected.
Everybody's talking about the Saints being a Super Bowl team. I guess that's every year. No one wants to. Everybody said Dallas is a Super Bowl team every year, but people say that about the Saints every year too.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
But we both got the Seahawks here. I think Brett
it's,
thinks it's going to be a bit more of a close game than I personally do, but it's going to be
yeah,
an
I think it
interesting
could be close.
one. Next up, we got the Sunday night football game. This is an interesting one. Rams 2-0 go to Cleveland, take on the 1-1 Browns. What do you think this game is going to look like?
So the spread is 3, which I was kind of surprised. I thought it was
That's
gonna be like
shocking.
LA -7 or something. Uh, Cleveland's plus 145 at home. Over under is 49.
I'm
I
taking
put
over on
golf
that.
doesn't really do it for me, but I think they're just a better team. I don't really know much to say about this game. I haven't been impressed with Goff at all. Gurley scares me, but Baker scares me. Their O line is bad. Uh, Freddie Kitchens is coming kind of a joke to me.
No,
I don't really know what his
he's a
deal
joke.
is. Yeah. I love Baker. I love Odell. I mean, Odell is a monster. If you just talk
Right.
about what he does on the field, he
He had
is
a
a
big game.
monster. And Joku's out. Baker totally screwed him on that play,
Yeah.
um, which is why I had to trade for a tight end in our league. Um, and I think I'll just go with the Rams because I think overall they're better, just in pretty much every fashion. And
Yeah.
I think they'll cover. I mean, -3. I mean, you got to think they'll at least win by 5, 6.
You
So,
thinking this is like a close one or
uh, I mean,
competitive?
I think just because Cleveland's at home, they could be interesting. I mean, I think they need to get Chubb going.
Yeah,
Chubb
100%.
Chubb needs a monster game. Um, I mean, you got too many weapons on offense to not be scoring a lot of points. Now they did just wax the Jets. Um, LA defense, man. Now I saw Donald was questionable. I haven't checked again today.
He's gonna play.
He's gonna play.
I mean, he came out of that game against the Saints, but came back in it. So I'm assuming he's gonna play.
Okay. I don't want to say it'll be close. Maybe 30-20 Rams. I'll go with that. So
I
that's all about I got on that, I guess.
I got. I think the Rams win this game, and I'm predicting. Maybe this is a bold prediction that -3 spread is shocking to me, but I
Yep.
got the Rams 41-23.
Okay.
I think that. Dude,
I still like the Cleveland defense though. You got
I
Miles
didn't
Garrett, you got Denzel Ward.
I
Denzel Ward.
didn't like this Cleveland team really that much going into the season, and I
I didn't
definitely don't
love it.
like them now.
I definitely didn't like was not as big as some people were for sure.
Like we still have to keep in mind, yes, they are a talented team, but they're the Cleveland Browns. Like there is a stigma around that team, and I think that there's a good amount of like mental roadblocks there, if that makes sense.
If they could have gotten a better coach, I think that stigma would have been about done with. But Kitchens, I
Right.
feel like just brings them right back to it.
Kitchens was a
What are
shocking
they the
hire to me.
most penalized in the league, like
Most
ever or
penalized in the
something,
league.
out of the first two
They've
games?
I don't remember the exact number of penalty yardage, but it's the most ever in the first two games.
That's just bad.
Yeah, they're a very undisciplined team. They're
And that's the thing with
Baker.
McVay, man. They're pretty disciplined.
Yeah, and Baker. Like the Rams have a monumental coaching edge in this game,
Yeah.
but the Baker, I like him, but man, he has not looked that great. He's one of like the least accurate quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I think that he has a vendetta against all of his receivers because he's trying to get them murdered every time he throws them the ball.
Yeah. And what is it since week 4 last year? He's leading the league in picks with like 18.
Yeah, and you know that's a rookie gunslinger right there. I'm not going to put too much stock into
And
that,
well,
but
his O line, man. I
yeah,
mean,
the online is
it's bad.
bad,
It's
bad, bad.
and
What
you trade away one of your best guards in the
right?
offseason?
These
Why?
teams need like have these teams. How have these teams not learned their lessons?
I don't get it, man.
You have teams like the Cowboys, the Eagles, who show how important it is to put a lot of stock into your offensive line, especially if you have a young quarterback. It
Yeah.
changes the game
Yep.
completely. Like your young quarterback is going to get acclimated in the NFL easier. He's not going to be taking
You can run the ball
6, 7,
better.
8, 9 hits a game. Like, yeah, you can run the ball, open up the game. Like, how have these teams not learned, man? It's shocking.
Yep.
But
We should be GMs, really.
we should 100%. But no, man, I got the Rams here. I kind of agree with you. I haven't been too overly impressed with them, but I think that they have a big win here, almost a statement win, kind of
It
like
was
a
I think it was a big win for him week one. I know we haven't been big on the Panthers, but week one, the Panthers were together. You know what I mean? Cam was,
right.
I guess, at least the healthiest he'll be this season, and the Rams come out and I guess they hurt him and they win that game, and I think that kind of set him on a path to, okay, we're going to the semifinals again. I
Yeah.
mean, barring who they play, I think they lose probably second round, but I mean, they're a good team. The Rams are at the point where you know they're going to be good, and you know they're going to be in the playoffs, and
Right.
they pretty much have all the pieces to play whoever comes up. So
Right. And I mean, this whole Todd Gurley thing, it definitely limits them offensively because when they were putting up stupid points last year, like Todd Gurley was a monster. Like he
yep,
was an MVP front runner. They were running him up the middle. They were pitching it to him. They were throwing it to him. Like they were doing. He was so involved in the offense, and it's kind of honestly sad
yeah,
to
maybe a
see.
little too involved from what it seems like.
Yeah, I
Now,
mean,
do you think maybe his usage is not because of his health, but maybe to save him for later?
I think it's probably a mixture of both. Like,
Right.
I mean, knee arthritis, you really don't want to fuck around with that because it's
Yeah.
like if we can limit his usage and still win games, then of course we're going to do it. And
Right. Right.
I don't know how good Malcolm Brown is, but he's definitely a capable second running back.
He's solid. Solid.
Definitely a capable second running back. And they still obviously like the thing I'm interested about this Rams team is they're 2-0. I haven't been impressed by either of those wins. Like the Saints, I'm not going to put too much stock into it when Breeze gets hurt. What was it, like
Right.
second quarter?
Right.
But
And then they had that atrocious fumble call
yeah,
back,
that
man.
god awful
Oh
call.
my, unbelievable.
I keep seeing people bring this up. People need to understand this about calls. Like,
Yeah.
yes, the Saints lost that game by a good amount of points, but that was early enough in the game where it could have very much changed the momentum and how the
Yep.
game was played.
Yep.
So, yes, like, do the
I mean,
Rams still probably win that game? Out probably,
I was
but
listening to a point too, man, where it's just like the refs are taught to not blow the whistle, but man, in the moment when he was saying on an incomplete pass or something, if everybody's going for the loose ball, you don't want people to get injured, so you might want to blow the whistle to blow the play dead. But Cam
fuck that.
Jordan was
So
already
dumb.
he already had the ball. Like it was pretty clear fumble right into his hands.
If the play is even close, what are you doing blowing the whistle, bro?
Yeah.
What are you like? That was such a. You have to feel bad for Saints fans.
Watching that game, I was shocked.
You have to feel badly for Saints fans. Like I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but there's definitely some shit going on there.
After that, I was definitely like, damn. Like,
So we both got the Rams. It also wouldn't shock me if the Browns won this game, but
I wouldn't be shocked, but I think they would win by like 2 on a last minute field goal.
I personally feel in my hearts of hearts that this is a blowout, and then we're all back to laughing at the Browns.
Yeah, it's very
Like-
possible. Very
Like
possible.
we're back to laughing at the Browns because
Yep.
they get embarrassed in week 1, and yeah, they beat the Jets. I was not impressed by that game though.
Nope, Baker didn't look that impressive. Got Njoku destroyed.
It's just he throws the ball so goddamn hard. It's like, dude, tone it down just a tiny bit. Him and Wentz are the same way. Like Wentz is out here getting his receivers murdered on crossing routes.
I remember
It's
we
like-
were talking kind of how they put themselves in bad situations where they're good at scrambling, and Mahomes and Watson are kind of this way
Right.
too, where they kind of make an extra play, but they might get hurt. They might get hit
Right.
a little weird on some of these plays.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and that's why you see guys like Philip Rivers, Tom Brady, like they just fall to the ground.
I think Dak too, man. Dak gets hit usually pretty smart.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes on his runs he likes to bulldoze, but
Right, but
usually
Dak's-
behind the pocket he's pretty good about it.
Dak's built a little bit differently.
Yeah, which you gotta love though.
Yeah.
You gotta love.
Dax is a thick boy.
Yeah,
He can take those hits.
you gotta
All
love.
right. Last game of the week, Monday night. This is an interesting one.
It is,
Bears
me too.
1-1 going to FedEx to take on the Redskins, who are 0-2.
So we got Chicago's favorited on the road. I think Washington is a capable team. It's kind of another one of those teams that you can't just go and expect to beat. You got to beat them. The spread is 4. Over under is 41.5, which means this is gonna could be ugly game. Very defensive.
I think 41.5 is even high. What was the one? What game was it you
38.
said?
I think
What
that's
game?
that's
that
the
tonight's game?
Jags Titans. Yeah, 38.5.
I think
So
this
it's
game could
probably
have
the
very
second.
very easily been the lowest spread as well.
Right. I put could be ugly. I think you just got to go with the Bears here. I would love the upset, but at the same time, I really wouldn't being a fan of the Cowboys. But I guess I'll go with the Bears defense, shutting them down good enough for hopefully David Montgomery to get a couple of touchdowns. I just traded for him in our league, and I'll go with the Bears on the road.
Yeah, I had in my notes here the Redskins up until we were just about to record, and I changed it. I really want to pick the Redskins.
Yeah.
Because I am just, God, I'm not sold on this Bears team at all.
Yeah.
They have not looked good. But at the same time, it's the Redskins. Like, I don't think that they have.
I think they got some dogs though. I like the Washington kind of attitude that they play with. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, they're 0-2 right now. And like you said, they do have some dogs on their team. So I'm sure that locker room, they're really wanting to win, especially Monday Night Football.
Especially at home. Yep.
God, I'm about to change my pick right now. I think I am picking the Redskins.
Go Redskins at home. I'm not mad at it. I mean, plus 170, it's pretty good upset spread.
This Bears team is so incredibly lucky to be 1-1 and not 1-2.
Yeah.
So incredibly lucky. They looked like garbage, hot garbage against the Packers. Horrifically bad.
That was a really bad first game.
And up until that last throw of the game, last week against the Broncos, that I don't remember what it was. It's like a 20, 30-yard pass to set up that field goal. Trubisky had less than 100 passing yards. Dude just does not have it.
They need to run the ball, and they need to run it a lot.
They need to run the ball 100%. And even against the Broncos team, like, they were struggling running the ball. They had that one goal line stand where they gave the ball to David Montgomery, eight times? Yeah. 8 times to get in the end zone? First down, didn't get it. Second down, didn't get it. Third down, didn't get it. Fourth down, didn't get it. There's a penalty or something. So they redid it. First down, didn't get it. Second down, didn't get it. I think third or fourth down, they ended up getting it. It was like, Jesus Christ.
It's been ugly for them. I still think the defense is good enough.
I mean, the defense is still probably the best in the NFL. Like, I don't want to take anything away from their defense.
Right. So I think that's what's going to carry them. Obviously, me and you are both when you have Dak as your quarterback and you hear about all these other guys and Trubisky's in that conversation, you kind of just want to throw up. But
yeah, Trubisky's not in that conversation anymore. Let me tell you,
he can't be. But
I think go ahead. Realistically, what starting quarterback do you think he's better than at this point in time?
I mean, I'd almost take Minshew over Trubisky. To be honest, I'm a pretty big fan of Minshew.
If we revert back to week 1 and quarterbacks are healthy, realistically, I can't. Maybe I take him over Fitzpatrick.
I think I'd take Jameis over him too. I mean,
I think
I'm 100% taking Kyler over him.
I'm literally thinking he might be the 30th. Maybe I take him over Jameis, but even then I don't know because Jameis can still go out and ball out at random times.
I'd probably take Dalton over him too.
Oh no, I'd 100% take him. Andy Dalton is I think Andy Dalton's a little overhated. I think he's a perfectly fine quarterback.
Bengals have been just as bad as the Browns since we've been alive too. I mean, they've had some moments with Carson Palmer, but they've had a rough go.
Yeah, and I mean this he does I know we are just rambling, but Andy Dalton. He's not great, but he's fine. That's exactly what he is. He's fine.
He can throw it. I mean,
he definitely can throw it. I mean, he's thrown the ball a bunch this year and has looked good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Going back to this Bears Redskins games, yeah, the defense is good. I thought this Bears team, there were a lot of sneaky Super Bowl picks for a lot of people this year. I was baffled by it. I was baffled by it because God damn, how many turnovers did they have last year? It was like 39 or something absurd. That was definitely going to go down. I mentioned that earlier about the 49ers.
I really thought Cohen was gonna blow up. I drafted him in 2 leagues, and I was kind of sleeping on this Montgomery kid, and now I'm starting to really be big on him. I think he's gonna be the focal point of that offense.
Yeah, I mean he looks.
Yeah, I mean I think they'll do enough to win this game. I guess that's kind of their strategy is just lean on their defense and score enough to win. And Washington's just they're good, but they're not great. They're not terrible, but I got to go with the better team, I guess, the better defense.
I'm feeling the more I talk about it, the more I'm feeling a little safe in my Redskins pick. Honestly, if the Redskins can muster up 14 points, I think against this Bears team, if you score 14 points, you're going to win the game.
You might not be wrong.
That offense is just so laughably bad.
Washington D isn't great.
It's
So
not great, but
if
like,
there's a time for them to get going, for Trubisky to throw over 200 yards, it might be this week to get going, even on the road.
I mean,
I
dude,
mean, you got
how do you?
A-Rob, you got Allen Robinson. I think they should start lining Cohen up in the slot or something.
No, they
He's
do.
too,
He almost runs almost exclusively out like in receiver routes.
he's got to. He's too small to be in the backfield. He needs to be a receiver or something.
they need to figure out what the fuck it is that they want to do offensively because
Exactly.
Trubisky threw the ball damn near 50 times in week 1. I think he might have threw it 50 times actually.
Well, which we talked about right after that week, which was weird because clearly Montgomery was looking pretty good out the gate. They just didn't give him the ball.
No, they refused
I
to give
mean,
him the ball. I mean, he
that
threw the
was
ball
a game that the way it was going. I mean, anything could have happened, and they just
Right.
didn't get it going, and it was pretty ugly.
They never trailed in that game by more than one possession ever.
Right.
So it was like, why are you not running the ball? You are
Yeah.
not a passing team.
Mm-mm.
And it's like I don't hate the receivers.
No, I mean I like A-Rob. I've always liked A-Rob. He's solid.
Right. I mean, I don't hate him, but like,
What do they have a tight end? Because I know Zach Miller is. I guess he's not on the team anymore after that.
they got Trey Burton.
Oh yeah, Trey Burton. He was out week 1. Did he do
Yeah,
anything last week? I don't think he did much.
Two catches for 5 yards last week.
Oh God.
He's not winning any games for anyone. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude.
So what? I think we only differed on maybe 2 or 3 games.
Yeah,
Pretty
I mean, this is like this week is there's not too many close matchups. I don't think this week are any ones that are like too tough to call, if that makes sense.
Yeah, probably the game of the week: Kansas City, Baltimore, Minnesota, Oakland could be interesting. LA, Houston could be interesting, and then I look forward to San Fran and Pittsburgh and Seattle and New Orleans.
And Atlanta, Indianapolis is not a bad matchup.
Philly, Detroit is probably a decently enough game.
There are a lot of like sneaky good games, like games that have the potential to be good games, but also have the potential to be ginormous blowouts. So keep that in mind. Eagles fans, I think you're gonna lose this week, and it's not me being biased. It's just me being smart.
Hey, just slightly.
It's just me being smart.
Oh man. Well, hey, I like that. I like our picks. I feel good about it.
I feel good too. We'll come back Tuesday, go over the games, go over our picks, see what we missed, what we got right. And then until then, guys, we'll see you then. Enjoy football this week.
Solid first go. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure to subscribe, all of that good shit. If you're actually watching this, if anyone's actually watching this.
Yep.
But I think that's it. I don't think there's much else to say. I don't know how to end this shit, so I'm just going to end it right this second. All right, see ya.